Hello, welcome to this Joyful Living series. At every moment in our lives, we are faced with situations where we need to make a choice. The choices we make determine the direction our lives go. Learning to make the right choices is therefore the first important step to take in life. Life is a matter of choices. And every choice you make makes you. The only thing we never choose is how, when, and where we are born into this world. But right after that, we are in the business of making choices. Even as a little child, we choose to eat or not, to play or not. Although we might not be aware of what we are doing or be able to explain why we choose what we choose. But the more we become aware of our freedom, the more we make choices and are responsible for them. The choice you make about your education, career, life partner, even the choice of watching this video leave you with something that other choices would not offer. At every stage in life, we are at crossroads with the flux of alternatives, and every choice of a direction to take automatically eliminates other choices within that particular time. Both hard work and laziness are products of choices. A young man can choose to become an Olympic champion in the sports he's talented in and for which there are adequate facilities. If he goes ahead to choose hard work and sets himself fully and consistently to make it a reality, he could start seeing results after a few years. But if he chooses the easy way and goes on to idle away with friends and avoid making the necessary sacrifices, he might end up dreaming of himself in that position without ever being able to make it a reality. The choice of what you want determines what you do with your time, talent, and treasure. It is your choice that spurs you on to work towards that goal you have set for yourself. This choice informs your work plan, influences your thought patterns, and energizes you to take the necessary steps regardless of difficulties you might meet on the way. The stronger your determination to attain your chosen goal in life, the more consistent you will be in pursuing that object of your choice. The most important choice you can make is the choice of who you want to be. This choice, unlike every other choice, is more fundamental because it sets the stage and forms the criteria for other choices that we follow. There is a difference between what you want to be in life and who you want to be. The first is about career and achievement, while the other is about the quality of your person. Career and achievements place you on a certain pedestal and inscribes your name on the book of history. But the quality of your person seasons your humanness and leaves an indelible mark in the lives of all that come across you. It is the only thing that remains when every other thing is gone. And more importantly, the more you choose for yourself, the more responsible you feel about the choices you make. In the same way, you feel more passionate about your personal choices because they speak of something about you. When you train your child in the process of reasoning before making choices, the child will grow to always find sufficient reason for whatever he or she chooses to do, and will grow in his or her sense of responsibility. The ability to choose is what sets humans apart from other animals, because humans exercise greater level of freedom to choose. Freedom is the most important attribute of being human. No matter where you find yourself, no matter the situation you are going through in life, the freedom to choose the next line of action is always yours. Viktor E. Frankl writes, "Between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space is our power to choose our response. In our response lies our growth and our freedom." History is filled with people who chose to remain steadfast to the principles they believe in, even in the face of threats and death. Freedom fighters are known to undergo horrible torture, imprisonment, and even murder for a cause they might not even live to enjoy. Yet, they remained focused on their goal, refusing to be distracted by all kinds of material offers in exchange for the cause they are fighting. That is simply because they have made a more fundamental choice to stick to their God-given right to freedom rather than enjoy material benefits on a bended knee of slavery. You can then understand why the early Christians were not overcome by the persecution that was targeted at them. Every torture and murder was simply seen as a heroic act of martyrdom that confirms the sublime nature of their choice to follow Jesus. As I said earlier, the more fundamental your choice, the more it directs and influences other choices you make. The same can be said of Jesus himself. Knowing fully well that suffering and death awaited him in Jerusalem, he set forth with full conviction to confront it. And even Paul, who was earlier against the new movement, found the courage to do the same. That is because they have made the more fundamental choice of working for human salvation. If you have chosen to work for eternal goals, you will be influenced to make choices that go in the same direction. The easiest way to change one's life is by changing the choices one makes. By choosing to achieve a particular goal or to live in a particular manner, one is saying yes to a set of things and no to all that are contrary to it. At any point, a person can realize that his or her life is going in what the person considers a wrong direction. In that case, the person only needs to change the course of his or her life by changing the patterns of choices he or she makes on the basis of the available alternatives at the time. There is no compulsion in making choices. Even God does not compel anyone to choose him. Whenever the question of making a choice arises, The use of the individual's freedom is at play. It is true that God has chosen the Jewish nation through their forefathers, yet they have to exercise their freedom in choosing to follow God and keep to His ordinances. Otherwise, the question of responsibility for that choice and the eventual reward will not be valid. You can as well see that in the action of Judas, who, though chosen among the 12 apostles, decided to pursue his own interest at the cost of his master. Yet, Jesus did not interfere with his freedom to make that choice. We all have the freedom to choose the course of our lives, and every choice shapes our lives, leading us in a given direction. Every choice also brings with it responsibility for what we have chosen. May we learn to make good use of the power of choice, guided by wisdom, insight, and grace from above. Thanks for watching.